Hi, my name is Brett Houston, and this is a short informational video about Soniscape. Soniscape is a noise masking track that I created several years ago while living in an apartment in North Hollywood. I had some of the most horrible neighbors that you could ever imagine. And after trying everything possible and every other option, legal and otherwise, I found that I was going to have to find a creative solution to get through the night. Now, if you know Los Angeles, it's very difficult and expensive to find other places to live. It's not that easy to just move. So, one day I was out in the wilderness, sitting next to a waterfall, and I realized, one, how quickly it recharged me and how peaceful it was. Second thing I realized was that I couldn't hear anything else around me. And so at this point, I realized I'm going to take a recording of this. I brought it back to my studio and I started trying to sleep with it. And it was very, very helpful. And I also realized, well, fans work well also. So I put a recording of a fan on there. And I thought, well, you know, crickets sound great when you're camping. So I made a recording of crickets. You know, it sounds like an orchestra around you, and it helps to mask out other sounds. And I started experimenting with other sounds. I started working with the frequencies and controlling and changing them. Effectively, I came up with a wall of sound that masked out everything else around me. It went from the very lowest sounds that humans can hear, which is 20 hertz, all the way up to 20 kilohertz. And I found that when I played this, I didn't hear anything else around me, but I heard my track, which sounded great. And that was the only way I could get through the night in this place. And I had the ideal place to test this track there. My upstairs neighbors were a family of 5, and I think they averaged about 300 pounds each. They had a basketball net in their living room, and they used it. They were also rather hostile and violent. They would beat each other. I couldn't tell you the number of times the police came out, and it was horrible. My next door neighbor was a hip hop producer that didn't start recording until 11 or 12 at night and went all night. And so I never had a moment's peace. But after I devised this Soniscape track, it worked. And I could turn it up and get through the night. And anyway, after a year and a half of perfecting this and getting it just right, I decided I'm going to release it to other people because I know I'm not the only person that has this problem. So I made Soniscape available, and now you can get it in an MP3, a CD, or a DVD. Now the MP3 and CD are just over an hour long. They are meant to be played in a loop. And the DVD is a 10-hour track that just goes 10 hours straight. And I created that because I got some feedback from some people that had trouble when the track would fade in and out on a loop. Personally, it didn't bother me. I slept right through it. But for some people, that was important. So I created that. You can get more information on the website. You can go to the address noise-pollution-solution.com. That's the easiest one to remember, or my composer website, which is bretthouston.com, and look for the Soniscape link there. Anyway, people ask, how effective is it? Using the principles of noise masking, as long as you have a sound system that is capable of playing all the frequencies within the Soniscape, which is the most important part. You have to have a sound system that can reproduce those frequencies, especially the low frequencies. If you have a good system and you have the Soniscape volume just slightly louder than the noise you're trying to mask, it will work effectively. It is meant to maintain a constant level of sound the entire time it's playing, with the exception of when it fades in and out for the 1 hour tracks. And that was done intentionally because I found that usually when you're woken up, it's because sound changes. Either it's quiet and you hear a noise, or you're sleeping with noise and it drops out. And so Soniscape is intentionally designed to remain constant. I've since moved on. I live in a nice quiet place in the mountains, and I didn't think I would need Soniscape anymore. But after being woken up by a herd of raccoons stampeding across the roof at 3 a.m., I started using it again, and I found there was plenty of other things to keep me awake, even in a quiet place like that. And now I've had a little girl. She's 2 years old. I found about the only time I can get some sleep is by playing the Soniscape. And we use it all the time with her when she's taking a nap. Whether it be at the day or night, she always has Soniscape playing in her room. And it's kind of become her signal that it's time to sleep. When she hears the Soniscape, she knows it's time for night-night. And it keeps her from being woken up. And it's great for us because when she's taking a nap, it's about the only time we can get anything done. And so, we're knocking around doing whatever we need to do, usually cleaning up after her. And we don't wake her up. So it works really well for that. And there's a lot of other uses that we found for Soniscape. When I travel now, I take it with me everywhere. And I have it on my my MP3 player if I'm on the airplane and I want to get some rest or just some peace. Anyway, there's plenty of uses that we found for it. Now, the important thing is your sound system, so I'll talk about that for just a second. What I'm using here is an old Altec Lansing system. It is just 2 speakers and a subwoofer. The subwoofer is key to using Soniscape because most of the sounds that are difficult to mask are the low frequency sounds. Bass is very strong and it will cut through a brick wall like a knife through butter. So it's very important that you have a subwoofer or something in your sound system that can play those lower frequencies. Now, if you just have your laptop speakers or a boombox or whatever, that will be much better than nothing at all. But you really want to have a good system. Now, these aren't expensive. I just picked this up on Craigslist for $15. There was another guy selling the same thing for $25, and I looked on eBay, and the highest one was going for $75. Altec Lansing makes some really good speakers. This was intentionally designed just to use with computers, but it has a very good frequency response. This one goes down to 30 hertz. So whatever you're looking for, make sure you get something that goes down at least to 30 and preferably all the way down to 20 hertz. That's the most important part. And you can look at the specs on any speaker system. So what I'll do is I'll give you a short demonstration of how Soniscape works and how effective it is. I've got the entertainment center set up in the other room, and I'm going to crank that up and give you a demonstration of how that works. So just hang on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so one of the main things people use Soniscape for is masking out the sounds of their neighbors. A lot of people have these 5-to-1 entertainment systems that are great for watching a movie, but not so great if you want to sleep. They have very good bass response. And they're excellent for playing Soniscape, by the way. But let me shut the door. All right, so in the background, you can hear the soundtrack as it's playing. And this is about what it would sound like if you had a next door neighbor that was playing this, or let's say your wife or kid wanted to watch a movie and you wanted to take a nap, or just wanted to study and didn't want to listen to it. So anyway, let me show you an example here of what it will sound like with and without the Soniscape. So take a second, just listen to the background music. All right, I'll put in the Soniscape. Okay, so you can hear how effectively Soniscape masks the film. I've got the bass cranked up on this really strongly, and I keep mine that way because I found bass is usually the only thing that'll cut through and wake you up. So if you have the bass cranked up, then you compensate for that. Okay, so that's one example of how Soniscape can help you get through the night. There are many more, and if I have some time, I'll take a minute and shoot some of the other examples for you. I'm going to go turn this off. So I have this system set up here by the window because that's where the road is, that's where the trucks drive by, and this is the big window where I can hear any noise that would wake me up here. Depending upon where you are and what noise you're dealing with will affect on where you put your speakers and how you set up your system. Effectively, what you can do is surround yourself with the speakers facing you. That's one way. The other way is, let's say the noise is coming from your neighbors. They're having a party and they've got a band playing and you don't really want to hear that. So in this case, you would turn the speakers. I would turn one to the window and one to the bed. And what this will do, these produce sound waves, and these sound waves can knock out the other waves that you're trying to mask. And this would effectively do the job. Now, if I had the noise back here on these other windows by the bed, I would put the speakers by the bed and put the subwoofer over there. But for this situation, this is where I set up my system. In an ideal world, we would have some way where we could just turn off external noise, or have neighbors that would be considerate and not consistently flood you with their noise. But since we don't have that luxury, and some people just won't be considerate no matter what you do, you can use Soniscape and it'll help. I found that it helps me, helps kind of bring some peace, It's very nice to sit there and listen to these sounds with the crickets and the waterfall and everything else. And roughly there's about 12 different sounds within the Soniscape, and a lot of those are masked by the waterfall itself. There's many different types of air and water noise and things like crickets and such that are all really nice, peaceful sounds that you could hear at night that effectively do the job of noise masking. I've got a lot of recordings from really wonderful areas in pristine wilderness that I have in the recording. And worst case scenario, if you're in a situation where you've got an airport with big planes flying over you, or you're in Los Angeles and you get helicopters and gunshots and sirens and God knows what, it's so much nicer to listen to a waterfall than any and all of that. And I've found numerous times it's really helped me get through the night and helped me deal with some really infuriating situations. And that's what I find is the worst part of this when you're dealing with bad neighbors, is you just get so angry that they're so inconsiderate and thoughtless and aggressive and hostile and all the other adjectives you can find. It really just pisses you off. And the Soniscape helps kind of cool things out. It puts you in a mode where you're more peaceful, and it masks out all their crap. So for me, it's been very effective, and I made it available for other people, and I've heard from people all over the world that they like it and it's helping them. So anyway, I hope it can help you, and if you have any questions that weren't addressed, send me an email. There's a link on my website, and I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. If you're looking to purchase Soniscape, The best place is CD Baby. It's available in a lot of other places, but they tend to be charging more, and I have no control over that. They're the main distributor for it, and they distribute it to Amazon and CD Universe and all these other places, and they tend to add more on top of what they get at wholesale from CD Baby. So that's who I recommend, and they've always been really good with people. It's available on iTunes as well. The DVD, the 10-hour DVD, is only available right now on the website, and they're in limited supply. I'm working on a couple other options as well. Anyway, that's it. If you have any more questions beyond this, feel free to send me an email, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks.